The Book of Melchizedek, History of the Universe, Chapter 3, Part 1. When darkness was overcome on the third day, the Creator continued his work, bringing forth the immense continents that were still beneath the surface of the waters. With raised hands he ordered, "Join the waters under the heavens in one place, and the dry portion appears." In prompt obedience, the crystalline waters gave their superior position to the dry portion that rose overlapping them. In the lower regions of the earth, the waters will continue to reflect the heavenly glow, being a snack for the thirsty creatures. In that gesture of humility, the waters foreshadowed the Creator, who, in the great struggle, had descended into the deepest abyss to make eternal life reborn in thirsty souls. Contemplating the face of that new world, the Eternal called the dry part earth, and the gathering of the waters he called seas. In his powerful voice he continued ordering, "Produce the earth green grass, grass that gives seed, fruitful tree that bears fruit according to its species, whose seed is in it on the earth." In the obedience to the divine command, the solid surface of the planet was covered with all kinds of vegetation, beautiful meadows to bloom, green fields crisscrossed by crystalline rivers, endless forests that were leafy trees, allowed to hang tasty fruits of countless species. The earth was like a cloth where the Creator, by the power of his word, colored pictures of unparalleled beauty. While with admiration the hosts contemplated the beauties of that creation, they were surprised to recognize on the new planet the Garden of Eden, place of the divine throne. The Eternal, by the power of his word, had transferred him to the bosom of that special world, where in justice the government of the universe would be confirmed. On that spring day, the breeze gently caressed the green forests and the flowering meadows, flooding the atmosphere with a soft aroma and freshness. Contemplating his work, the Creator happily exclaimed, "Behold, everything is very good." Exuberant, the planet fulfilled another day in its harmonious rotation. The faithful hosts could now better understand the importance of divine light. His absence had obfuscated on that night the beauties of Zion. On that new day, the Creator would express his great power, giving the earth luminaries that would fill it with light and heat. Those luminaries would remain forever as symbols of the spiritual presence of the Eternal, which is the source of all light, the Eternal. Contemplating the dark and empty space that extended around the earth, with a powerful voice he ordered, "Let there be luminaries in the expansion of the heavens, so that there is separation between day and night. Be they by signs and for certain times, to days and years. And be for luminaries in the expansion of the heavens, to light the earth." Immediately the space became radiant due to the brightness of the suns and the reflection of the planets and satellites. Before this demonstration of power, the faithful host knelt in reverent worship. On the fourth day, the Eternal created the worlds of our solar system, not to be inhabited like the earth, but for the balance of the system. They also filled the sky with glare, softening the darkness of earthly nights. Turning his eyes to the ground, the hosts were glad to see her radiant in colors. Very close to it, you could see the moon, that with its silver reflection could scare away the deep night shadows. Wrapped up by that enchanting scenario, the children of light rejoicing greeted the dawn of the fifth day, with would be of many surprises. The Eternal would turn the festive land by the presence of countless species of irrational animals that would inhabit the entire surface of the planet. That creation would have continuity on the sixth day. Raising the mighty hands, the Creator, looking first at the crystalline clear waters, ordered, "Produce the abundantly reptilian waters of the living soul." Immediately the waters became undulating by the presence of countless species of reptiles that, happy and grateful, celebrated the existence of a continuous swim and jump. From microscopic beings to great whales, all appeared in complete harmony, reflecting in their nature the love of the Creator. Putting his eyes on the indigo atmosphere that rested on the green forest, the Eternal continued, "Birds fly over the face of the expansion of the heavens." Through his order, the heavens were filled with colorful birds that, flying in all directions, had in their hearts a song of gratitude for life. This song filled the air, mixing the perfume of flowering bushes. Contemplating with pleasure his earthly creatures, the Eternal blessed them by saying, "Fructify and multiply, and enrich the waters and the seas. The birds multiply on the earth." Rejoicing, the faithful hosts witnessed the dawn on the sixth day. And what would God create on that new day? This question reigned in the minds of all rational beings. They were sure that something very special was about to happen. Raising the mighty arms, the Eternal ordered, "Produce the living soul earth according to its species, cattle, reptiles, and wild beasts of the earth according to its species." His powerful voice was quickly heard, and in the woods and fields the result of his creative power could be seen. Animals of all species woke up to a happy existence in the middle of a paradise of perfect peace. The land became extremely beautiful, with princess adorned to receive its king and lord. Who would that special being be? Moving with majesty, the Eternal came down to the glories of the new world, heading to the Garden of Eden, place of the divine throne. The angels of the light accompanied him reverently, stopping like clouds over the skies of the paradise. The entire universe watched with deep interest the development of the acts of the Creator in response to the accusations of his enemies. The moment was decisive, everything indicating that the Eternal would prove not to be tyrant or selfish, crowning someone on Mount Zion. Satan and his followers did not doubt that the kingdom would be given to them, and they would reign victorious in the bosom of that ancient abyss, where darkness and light were now intertwined. The subjects of the light shuddered at that perspective. Next to the source of the river of life, the Eternal knelt solemnly, and with the natural elements of the earth began to mold, with much love, a special creature. After a few moments, the body, still lifeless, of the first man was extended before the Creator. The Eternal looked at him, and after stroking his cold, discolored face, he breathed into the nostrils the breath of life, and the man began to live. As if waking up from a dream, the man opened his eyes and contemplated the sweet face of his Creator, who smiling kissed his face, now colorful and full of life. He was moved to hear the Eternal say in a soft and affectionate voice, "My son, my dear son." Because he was born on earth, the first man received the name of Adam. Taking him by the hand, the Eternal lifted him. Without perceiving the seam of glare that surrounded him, Adam, in a gesture of gratitude for existence, enveloped the Creator in a tender embrace, prostrating himself in reverent worship. The faithful hosts who admired witnessed the great divine fulfillment. Excited at the human gesture, also prostrated themselves in reverent worship. Then they united the voices in a song of joy and salutation to that special creature who woke up to life at such a decisive moment for the universe. With a heart full of happiness, Adam joined the angels in his song of praise. His voice, as it passed through the flowery surroundings, was mixed with the song of the birds and the death of the animals that approached festively, and a walk of unforgettable surprises. Adam was made aware of the beauties of his home. With admiration, he saw Mount Zion, where the river of life flowed in a cascade of light. The glorious mountain lay crowned by a beautiful rainbow. In his steps, he followed the course of the crystalline river, which glided serenely amidst the wonders of Eden. One admired the tall trees that, soaked by the breeze, left abundant flowers and fruits hanging from the branches. He leaned here and there, attracted by the glow of precious stones that adorned the lawn everywhere. With intense joy, Adam was aware of the infinite species of animals that populated the garden. All were meek and submissive and lived in perfect harmony and happiness. Stopping in his footsteps, Adam admired the whiteness and tenderness of an animal that was jumping on the grass. Approaching, he took it in his arms, dedicating a special affection. Well, it was nice to stroke her white wool. His sweet eyes reflected a glow of love and humility. There was something special about that little animal. Affectionately, Adam called him Lamb. With the little animal in his arms, Adam looked grateful toward the Eternal, worshiping him. Contemplating his white robes, his expressive eyes of an unparalleled love, Adam discovered that he had in his arms a symbol of his author. Happy, he exclaimed, "Oh Lord, this little lamb clad in such white wool, with an expressive look of so much love, looks like you. I want to always have him with me." Watching the animals, Adam perceived that they enjoyed a special fellowship. I saw happy couples everywhere, living for each other. His thoughts turned to his companion. He looked around and was surprised not to see him. The Eternal had concealed himself on purpose, becoming invisible. Adam felt lonely in the midst of that paradise. With whom would you share your happiness and love? There were animals there, but they were irrational, unable to share their ideals. He was born in his heart, walking alone in that sunset. A burning desire to find someone who could always be by his side. While Adam looked toward the distant hills in the hope of seeing someone, the Eternal appeared at his side and said, "It is not good for the man to be alone. I will make him a companion." Adam was happy to hear from the Creator that promise, just at the moment when he so longed to have someone that he could always be visible at his side. Taken by a deep sleep, Adam leaned back in the chest of his loving Creator, who with caresses made him numb. In his subconscious, the first colorful dreams arose. Contemplate the Eternal's tender gaze. He hears the harmonious sound of angelic music. Discover the wonders around Mount Zion with its rainbows, the river of life, the meadows in bloom, the animals that greeted him at the party. The scenes that surrounded him in his longing are repeated in his dream. He looks around in the hope of finding his partner, but he doesn't see it. He feels lonely in his dream, and that makes him look for someone with whom to share his existence. His gaze stretches through greening countryside, seeing in the distance flowery hills. While walking hopefully, feel the gentle breeze gently stroking her hair. Talk to the breeze. Breeze, you seem to be who I'm looking for so much. You caress my hair. You kiss my face. You have the perfume of green bushes. If I could see your face, I would kiss it. If I could touch your hair, make long braids and decorate them with the flowers of your garden. After walking in the dream through the meadows of paradise, Adam stopped while contemplating the surrounding landscape. He admired not seeing the effect of the breeze on the flowering branches. But how if he felt it warmly on his face? Then he began to wake up from his dream, still with his eyes closed. He remembered the moment when sleepy, he lay on the Eternal's chest. Would the breeze be the touch of his hands? With this question, he opened his eyes and was excited to see a pretty woman who, with scented hands, caressed her face with love. It was the breeze of his dream, the promise of a creator who just wanted to make him happy. Now Adam was complete, for he had Eve, who was flesh of his flesh and bones of his bones. Taking her by the hand, Adam invited her for a walk of the unforgettable surprises. He would show his companion the beauties of his home. Sensitized, Eva stopped at every step, attracted by the flowers that exhaled soft perfumes, for the birds that sang happy songs, for the animals that followed them submissive, by the vegetation of rich nuances, through the crystalline waters of the river of life that flowed cascade from Mount Zion. Everything in paradise was perfect and beautiful, but nothing equaled the human being created in the image of God. They turned to each other in admiration and caresses. Soaked by that love, they remained until sunset. With delight, the young couple began to contemplate the setting sun that, through pink rays, colored the sky and a beautiful tree. It was the sixth day that came to an end, giving rise to the hours of a special day, Saturday. That day, in its meaning, would be solemn for all subjects of the Eternal, for its dawn would bring victory to the kingdom of light. The sun, which on the sixth day had brightened nature with its brightness and heat, was hidden, leaving in it cold shadows. The cheerful birds silencing their trills, looked for their nests while the other animals were collected. Only the couple remained motionless, trying to see, in the last flash that went out on the horizon, the hope of a new dawn. They investigated the sense of darkness when, among the bushes, they saw a beautiful place whose silver rays bathed the nature in soft luminosity. The whole sky was illuminated by the glow of the stars. admired, they discovered that the night was only darkness when they looked down. Adam and Eve, in their innocence, did not know that the night symbolized the bleak future of humanity.